It's been a big week in rugby league down at the Shire, really, hasn't it? I mean, we've got an outgoing CEO, we've got an outgoing coach, we've got a bickering board, we've got another club with no money. I can see a solution here.
That's not on the rundown. What are you talking about?
I can see a big solution for the National Rugby League. How many people would be disenfranchised from the game if Cronulla went to oblivion? That way, we could have home and away.
We've already got the Magpie supporters on our back.
We could have
just got the whole Shire going.
Home and away, 28 weeks of competition. Everyone gets to play home and away. Then we got the 2 byes. We got what everyone wants.
I want to know how you got onto that out of elongation.
Because out of elongation, I was going to introduce an old Bennyism, a Benny Eliasism, when he said...
It's not even on the rundown. What do you know the Sharks for?
You know when he goes before the show, he gets his rundown, he does things, and if it doesn't get introduced, he's got it there.
We've got nothing. It's got nothing on it.
That's the biggest...
It's just blank.
I'd like to see the Sharks go to Perth, to be honest.
Well, they're going bad down there, mate. They've got to go somewhere. They either go to oblivion or they go to Perth or they go to the Central Coast. We've got too many teams in Sydney. One less is not going to hurt us.
As I say, we're going all over the place, but Benny Elias once said in commentary, I was with him on Radio 2GB, and I think it was the Sharks were struggling at the time, and he said they need a set of 6 here to improve their confidentiality.
Honesty test.
Something to do with confidence and confidentiality.
Let's have an honesty test.
Can we use that?
If they dropped off the comp, would you... How much sleep would you lose, MJ?
Well, a lot, because they were born the same year I was, 1967. And I think that them and Penrith, even though I'm a Penrith boy, the Sharks I've got a soft spot for the Sharks.
I don't want to lose any club, TK, and I can't believe that you would make such a sweeping statement.
The game marches on.
Oh, jeez.
No, you can't say
Hey, listen, Sharks supporters, when you email the Sunday Roast and you put my name at the top, or Gus or MG, can all the Sharks fans just put TK on that? And I'll just forward them to your email address. Well, here we are, Sunday Roast, round 13, the halfway mark of the regular season. We're less than 2 weeks away from State of Origin number 2, and there is so much to talk about. Apparently Israel Folau was in the news this week. We may even touch on that during the program. But right off the top of the show, even before I introduce MG, TK or GUS, I want to say this. Last night we saw one of the great rugby league tries scored by a player representing one of the great rugby league clubs, TK.
Go the Sharks.
Nathan Gardner for the Sharks. This is the roast, but today we begin with a toast. This is a super try.
To Anasta. He's got a big kick on him. Coming down end over end to Nathan Gardner and Mitchell Pearce. Broke line, so too did his men on the outside, and look at this from the Sharkies. Open space, still going. What a try that is! Oh, hip, hip, hooray!
Well, there you go. Well done, Nathan Gardner. Only his 4th game of first grade. And, folks, after last week, TK said they should be kicked out of the comp. First of all, TK, have some emails from Sharks fans. They love you, mate.
Thank you very much.
Well done, TK. Here's your cap to wear today. You've got your Sharks cap. I'm a member of the Sharks Football Club. You can have my cap. It's got a bit of seawater damage.
A bit sweaty.
And then can you also wear the members-only lanyard?
I've got to cop it.
It's your punishment. You wanted them out, and they've now had their biggest win.
I think we've got to be clear on a couple of things.
Yes.
At no stage did I ever say that the mighty Sharks from the Shire couldn't play. Although they were on the verge of becoming the worst ever attacking team in National Rugby League history. But I stick by it. This is part of the grand master plan. Ricky rang me during last week, said, would you mind giving us a serve on the Sunday Roast to inspire the boys and say we should be kicked out of the comp and go into oblivion and no one would care. And I'd like to say that Ricky and I have worked a miracle because they've scored more tries last night than they've scored all season.
Well, that response was like a... something I've never heard from you before.
I won't admit defeat.
That's just unbelievable. That was like a tossed salad in a crab net.
I was thinking the same thing, MG.
Do you know what?
Now, I will say, in your defence... Oh, don't give your man support. Where who from?
other fans.
Yes.
But let me tell you, it's been quite outrageous.
You've received
from Shark
support from
supporters.
blokes who were pushing for Wentworthville or Wright Eastwood to come into the competition
I
in
can tell you,
1967.
my comments
Now,
were very popular on the Central Coast and in Rockhampton, where they're trying to get their teams into the.
I will say this as the slightest defence for you, that of all the emails and the letters that came through,
Yeah.
many of them abusive,
Yeah.
that probably
I can
less
see.
than 1% came from people other than Sharks fans. So, in some ways, you are validated by the fact that those outside Cronulla may not have cared about your comments, but that is where it ends.
In saying
We're
all
not
of
going to
that-
get bogged down.
In
No,
saying,
that's
I
our
don't want to get
favourite
bogged down
saying.
either,
No.
but in saying all of that, summing it up, I was right.
What are you going to do once you take that hat off and the wig sticks to your hat? Oh,
Is it still there? It came off? No, it's still there. In saying all that, I was right. Thanks.
No.
I've been validated.
But Sex Symbol Sunday on the roast next Sunday was the idea of a few of our viewers there a few weeks back, a couple of our female viewers. And guys, we want you to vote as well. TK, you're going to put a vote in next week.
How do we,
you have to put a vote in next week.
I'm trying to look at this panel and thinking,
Sex Symbol
how do we
Sunday?
sort of qualify to vote on the
Oh, mate.
sexiest
I
player?
was
we have
Mr.
to.
March in 91.
Yeah, well, that's
Where were the staples? right
I
across
think
the
Andrew Handicap is going to be the spunkiest footy player that's ever played. I mean, in 1990 on a Kangaroo tour, some of the single blokes had a dry spell. They went and knock on his door. That's spunky.
Righto. It's a good show
Spunky.
today. It's a
I haven't
good,
heard that
good
word
show.
for a long time.
It's a good
Spunky.
show. It's a very good show. Paul Gus is about to collect. We do hope to be back next week. Sharks fans, I've got some bad news for you. TK's not on for a couple of weeks. You're going off to Royal Ascot.
I'm going to Royal Ascot. It'll be
All right.
Sharks hat
Wear
replaced by a
Sharks
top
cap
hat.
at Royal
Oh,
Ascot.
please.
Folks, that's the race for this week. Adios.